Coffee and Headlines is brought to you by the generous support of our viewers and the following community partners: Best Cord Cutting TV, Buforge Tax Preparation, Bravos Restaurant Bar, Casa Santonieta en Guilapa, El Rey Bar and Grill PV, Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work, Monson Brewing Company, Owners Reps Puerto Vallarta, Puerto Vallarta Neurofeedback, PV Dental Avant-Garde, and Siam Cocina Thai. Thank you for your support, and thank you for supporting our community partners.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. It is Wednesday, October 22nd, and we have an interesting broadcast today. We have news. I think there's a theme to today's news. The theme is the return off. We are going to have a couple of returns that I want to announce, and we're also going to have an important teachable moment, a cultural teachable moment. We are going to unpack a word that should be wielded with a lot of caution. And I love it. Susan says, "Hola y bienvenidos a todos los lurkers." I don't. Well, I don't think people are lurking, Susan. I think, yeah, I like to think of the silent majority as the silent majority. Um, and it's okay to lurk. I've been known to lurk. In fact, with Rocky Horror coming up, and with the opportunity of going to a local live screening a week after my presentation, there's going to be some lurkers there trying to find out what is going on, and then sometimes friends from the silent majority all of a sudden pop up, like Chris Steinem. A new person. Buenos dias, Paco. I've watched many of your shows, but today is my first watching live. Oh my goodness. Where is this? Is what I need. Everybody say hello to Chris, please. And let's see what's going on. Oh my goodness, Logan. Please let me know how it went at Costco this morning. Let me know if you found my errand, or if not, I'll take care of it on my own. But enough of personal stuff. It is a pleasure to see you all, and we might as well get started. I'll come back to your comments later on. But first, we talked about flu vaccines recently. They're back. And now we learned that the state government has acquired Pfizer and Moderna vaccines to protect against COVID-19 during winter flu vaccinations. These are updated versions of the vaccines. We learned from the director of the 7th Health Region, which we belong to. And let's see, what else do we have? The COVID vaccines that were purchased by the government, are adapted according to the latest subvariants of the virus we have experienced through the year. Of course, the COVID-19 vaccine is intended for adults over 60 years of age, healthcare personnel, pregnant women, and people with various chronic degenerative diseases. I'm not sure if what kind of paperwork you need to show up with, but I think I'm going to get my personal flu shot this Saturday. Yes, I want to go to. Oh, I saw a thumbs down. I wonder what that was about. Anyhow, I'm going to go get my vaccines this weekend, so I'll do some research as to whether anyone can go or just Mexican nationals and what not. So that's the first return. We also have the return of the giant Katrina. We wouldn't have a Day of the Dead without one of our new beloved traditions. It's only the 5th year, but it's already a beloved tradition. The installation of the monumental Katrina on the boardwalk. This will happen again this year. It will be inaugurated a week from today. And I also learned that Puerto Vallarta's traditional Day of the Dead parade will take place on Sunday, November 2nd. starting at 4 p.m. from the cemetery in Cinco de Diciembre all the way to the Los Muertos Pier. 40 groups are expected to participate. And for those of us that are not participating, well, it's a lot of fun to go and watch the parade go back. And that is return number 2. Return number 3, well, it's not a return to Puerto Vallarta, it is a return to Mexico. And of course, we're talking about the Monarch butterflies. It is official. The Mexican Wildlife Protection Organization, Profauna, has confirmed the start of the annual monarch butterfly migration to Mexico from the United States and Canada for the 2025-26 season. They reported that since October 11, the first sightings of solitary butterflies have been recorded in Coahuila, north of Mexico, and the metropolitan area of Monterrey in Nuevo León. Of course, we know they're not heading to Puerto Vallarta. They are heading to the state of Michoacán and also to the state of Mexico, where Oyamel forests, Oyamel is the Christmas tree. At least here in Mexico, we use Oyamel trees. The butterflies look for these trees for their annual migration and reproductive cycle and whatnot. Needless to say, if you haven't been, just as here we get all excited, here in Puerto Vallarta, we get all excited about whale watching and turtles. In the state of Michoacán, they get all excited about butterfly migration. And I understand, I've never been there during monarch butterfly season, but I understand that it is truly a sight to behold. And now, because I'll be curious to read your comments later on, I have a teachable moment. Yay. And this involves something that didn't even happen in Puerto Vallarta. In fact, it happened in a different country. Let me show you this image and you tell me what is wrong with this picture. What is wrong with calling a restaurant Whitexicans? Well, I look forward to your comments in a second, but the news is a new Mexican restaurant in Queens, New York, in Jackson Heights to be precise, has sparked debate over its name. The owners decided to call it Whitexican, and they insist that it is a satire, considered a satire meant to promote inclusion, but activists and social media users are clutching their pearls, considering that it is a potentially offensive term in the context of immigration policy in the United States. So who owns this restaurant? It's a Colombian couple. They recently opened, and they say that they are seeking to send a message of welcome, and I quote, "For us," the owners say, "for us, Whitexicans, the meaning is that we all belong here, and we don't care who you are, your sexuality, your gender, your race, or anything." Well, that's kind of like me saying, well, I'm going to open a cafe and it's going to be called Cafe Black, and I'll name it with a Spanish word which starts with N, which is negro. Now imagine if I opened a cafe called Negro. And I said, well, it's because coffee is black. Well, I don't think of all the names that you could come up with, there are many others. But even before we get into this, I want to explain what Whitexicans actually means and why it is complicated to name a restaurant, particularly if you're Colombian. A Colombian restaurant owner in the United States opens a place called Whitexicans. Well, the term Whitexican is a mix of white and Mexican, obviously, and it's a slang term that is used to describe Mexicans with lighter skin who are usually from more privileged backgrounds. Whitexicans, us Mexicans call Whitexicans people that are so out of touch with Mexico's financial, political, economic, social challenges or inequality, they just don't understand it because they don't know it, they don't see it. So, and yet we tend to think that Whitexicans, the upper class folk, benefit from social inequality. And of course, the term points to a deeper issue that has been around since colonial times, which is how race and class are still connected in Mexico. You've heard me say this a number of times, how class distinction is alive and it's harmful and it's challenging here in Mexico. And many friends from north of the border or English speaking friends living here just are not sensitized to it. But it is a loaded word. It is a word that if I was not Mexican, I would probably not even wield it unless I was in very um, close company. Um, it calls out privilege, and it oversimplifies complex identities and ends up dividing people rather than encouraging reflection. And it is a reminder of how loaded words can be when they touch on issues of privilege, culture, and identity. Now, let me clear my throat. Do we make fun? Do we poke fun of Whitexicans? Well, of course we do, but we're careful of who we make fun of and in the company of who we make fun of those people. You've heard me make fun of lords and ladies in Mexico, but when we do that, we're also doing it mindfully that we're trying to teach something. Using Whitexican, or rather making fun of Whitexicans, is something that is very easy to do. There are Facebook groups, there are Instagram groups, there are places where we see what some Whitexicans do. So we poke fun at it the way gay people in gay company make poke fun at other gay people. But if you're not gay, why are you poking fun at them? And honestly, it also makes me think of Puerto Vallarta when sometimes we see foreigners open businesses in English without much thought of how that might make locals feel. Now, it's not exactly the same situation, but the question is, how do we navigate cultural awareness with respect? And that's just what I wanted to convey. I wish the owners of Whitexicans a lot of luck, but obviously, I think this is an important lesson on sensitivity. Just because the word means something to you, it does not mean that it does not imply that it's going to mean the same thing to everybody else. And that's it. Let's look at the weather and share your comments with me. We'll take a look at them in a second. First, let us see what's going on with the weather. And ooh, you don't even want to know what I did with all the clouds. Says snarky weatherman. It is 30 degrees out there. Humidity is at 75%, and our weather forecast says today we're going to have mostly clear skies in the morning with rain in the afternoon. Oh, please, a chance of rain of 5%. A high of 33 and a low of 26. Then tomorrow, Thursday, mostly clouds in the evening with rain in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 41%, a high of 33 and a low of 26. And then on Friday, partly cloudy skies in the morning with rain in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 52%, a high of 33 and a low of 25. And that brings us back to the second half, which is going to be very short because I only have one other bit of news to share with you, but it is a great bit of news. Our friends from the Southside Shuffle have updated the Facebook photograph for their Facebook page, indicating that dates are set for this season's Southside Shuffle. Now, for Puerto Vallarta newbies that may be watching, what is the Southside Shuffle? Well, 12 Fridays between now and April. On 12 Fridays, a large number of shops and boutiques and art galleries and businesses in Colonia Emiliano Zapata particularly around Basilio Vadillo and that general area, uh, they stay open late. They stay open late, and they have boozy cocktails and entertainment. And if there are galleries, they stay open late and often have artists around that whose work is being exhibited. So it's a great opportunity to saunter from business to business and check out all the wonderful options available in this general area. So if you've never experienced this, this should be a lot of fun. Again, it's 2 Fridays per month, and we will be talking about this because we have a lot of great friends that have shops that participate in Southside Shuffle, and this is always a lot of fun to do. Now, before we get into your comments, we have announced yet another music appreciation presentation. I know Rocky Horror is tomorrow, but you've heard me talk about Rocky Horror left and right. How about some azúcar?
Before she was the queen of salsa, she was a young Cuban woman with a dream, a voice, and a decision that would change her life forever. Celia Cruz grew up in the heart of Havana, surrounded by drums, boleros, and the pulse of Afro-Cuban rhythm. Her voice carried the warmth of her island and the fire of her spirit. But when politics took a dark turn, Celia made the painful choice to leave her homeland and was never allowed to return. Exile didn't break her. It made her unstoppable. From Mexico to New York, she turned heartbreak into rhythm and transformed joy into rebellion. Her music became a voice for millions who longed to dance, to hope, and to belong. With every stage, every sequin, every azúcar, Celia reminded the world that joy is power and music, freedom. Join music storyteller Paco Ojeda for Azúcar, the life and music of Celia Cruz, a vibrant, heart-pounding journey through her sound, her story, and her soul. Because behind every beat, there's a story worth dancing to. Azúcar, the life and music of Celia Cruz. Thursday, November 20th at 5 p.m. at the Joint Boutique Hotel and Co-work. Tickets are 300 pesos per person, available at the front desk.
Ooh, that's going to be so much fun. And I don't want to give it away, but here is a performer, Celia Cruz, the late Celia Cruz. Here was a performer that turned down Castro in Cuba. So Castro kicked her out of the island, and when her parents passed away, she was not allowed to come back into Cuba. And that's just, it's going to be delicious. And her music, oh my goodness. And she's the only Latin American woman that has been turned into a quarter in the United States. I don't even know. I mean, a quarter, like an actual coin. I don't even know who was in office when this happened, but I'll start doing some homework, and I look forward to this presentation. Let's take a look at your comments. Boom, 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 boom. Diane, you know, I cannot go into Plaza Peninsula without thinking about you and your husband. It's great to see you. Let's see. Hello, community partner Tim Buford. Are your taxes ready? I certainly hope so. Let's see what else we have. Oh, ooh, ouch. Ooh, panic. I'm listening this morning from the dentist's office. Ooh, no, no, no. Let's see. Let's see. We acknowledge that new person. Hello, Chris, again. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Many hellos. Many hellos. Joey! Joey is a lurker. Oh my God, Joey. Joey, do you guys know who Joey is? My friend Joey, Jose Ramon Martinez, is one of the owners of Gay Guide Vallarta. He and his husband Isaac keep the LGBT plus community in touch with everything wonderful that's going on out there. And I am itching to have Joey and Isaac come to the spotlight for an interview because they have so much history in their brains about the gay community and where it came from and who we are and how it existed long before the gringos came here. Anyhow, Joey, it is a pleasure to see you. And everybody, if you ever see Joey and Isaac out and about, say hello to them. They are the sweetest English-speaking locals you could meet. Let's see what else. Instead of looky loos, we could be lurker loos, says Stan. Well, the word lurker, it doesn't offend me, but I wonder if some people might be offended by being called lurkers. Like it, see, see, that is an interesting point. See, I don't know if by using the word lurking, I am offending because I don't know if the word itself is offensive. So this, I'm trying to make a point and I've forgotten what I'm making a point of. It's easy to think that our words. Oh, I know the point that I'm trying to make. The point that I'm trying to make is somebody said, somebody wrote, oh, there it is. Ramona says, I would never patronize any business that made fun of another race, period. I understand that and I totally respect it. I think the challenge is when we are not even aware of the fact that we are making fun of another of another race or another group of people. So I'm not aware of the fact that using the word lurking could be considered offensive. Some of you, when you say, well, I'm running on Mexican time, you may think it's very funny, but you may not be aware of the fact that by saying that you're running on Mexican time, you may be making fun at Mexican people that overheard your comment. So those are the kind of subtleties that I am thinking about. So let's see. Michael says, I was at Unirse yesterday and saw a table set up for shots. Didn't see who qualified for them or who was needed. Well, I'll do some homework again over the weekend. I will do some homework over the weekend and I will report back. Oh, monarchs in my flower garden today, says Sherry Cooper. How beautiful. Ba-dum-bum-bum. What's going on, you guys? Yo, Chris and Lisa, look forward to hearing more from you. Person turquoise, waving, Mary and Laura are other regulars. Boy, that one went all over my head. It's a good thing it didn't have a Q on top of it. Let's see. More comments. Would that be Mexican food without spice or a chicken fried steak dinner with spicy pasta? If you're referring to what they serve on the menu, Chris, I have no idea. And that's not even the point. But what do I know? Let's see what else we have. See, I cannot even say that word. Because I'm not, well, I am fat, but I'm not a gringo. But you put them together and they sound really nasty. I cannot even say that. I can think it. I can make fun of it, but I'm not going to say it. The name seems kind of weird to me. Well, again, it's a word that we know. We Mexicans, we know that term. We see it. We make fun of it. We see it manifest on commercials. I mean, if you go see a commercial on YouTube or television of Liverpool, the big department store, I mean, all the models that they use are Whitexicans. They don't ever use like dark-skinned models, but I'm not even going to go there right now. Let's see. Paco, you are poking fun at some of the lords and ladies for actions that they did, but you are not profiting them. Well, I certainly don't know that I am. I am just celebrating the fact that some people think that they can get away with murder and they cannot, or they should not. That's the thing. Let's see. You guys are never gonna. Okay, for those that don't know, one day I was referring to snowbirds, and by mistake I said snowflakes. You're not gonna let that one go, are you? I love it. I love it. There used to be a candy bar here called Negritos. Yes, the name changed when Bimbo sold to the USA. They got it, and glad they changed the name. That's correct. When Bimbo, the same people that make pinguinos and gancitos, the little um, cake bars that you can buy at convenience store, there was one called Negritos. And in fact, there's some very famous Mexican children's song called Negrito Sandia. You see, in Spanish, the word negro is not offensive. It's just a color. Uh, Even calling a dark skinned person negro, well, I wouldn't use it out and about with someone that I don't know, but it can also be a term of endearment, and 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 that's that's that. Let's see what else we have. We're almost done. Whitexican sounds like a restaurant for white folks from Texas. That's funny. Uh, and I read this earlier, and it's very true. Thank you very much, Chris. Remember, getting your flu and COVID shots isn't just to protect you, but it also protects others around you. Please get your shots. That is an excellent thought. Thank you for sharing. Uh, 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 uh. Let's see what else we have. Laura says this will be such an interesting music appreciation. Azúcar. I'm turning to Latin American music in every way I can, just because there's so much there, so much beautiful music to share. Gouda. Gouda. I am actually not a new person, but parts of me are. Ooh, see you in 9 days, dear Paco. Ladies who lunch. Yes, we have to lunch, my dear Gouda. I'm not surprised that you have new body parts. I celebrate the fact that you have new body parts. And for those of you that don't know Gouda Gabor, Gouda is an amazing, super talented, super seasoned, as in she's been around for a long time, entertainer from Canada that comes down every season and does wonderful things at Nacho Daddy. Not only is Gouda an amazing performer, but she is one generous performer that brings to the stage all kinds of wonderful entertainers that you wouldn't otherwise hear about. So Gouda, I'm looking forward to seeing you, dear friend. I'm looking forward to telling everyone of all the wonderful things you bring to the stage and to the table. And I'm looking forward to hearing about your new body parts. That sounds sexy. Let's see what else we have. Oh, thank you, Brian. Looking forward to seeing all at the Joint Co-work Thursday night. Thursday night is going to be lots of fun. I look forward to seeing you there as well. Thank you so much for your support. Let's see what else. Ba-ding-bum-bum. There's still a restaurant here called El Negrito en Los Tules. That's correct. And I don't know if it has offended anyone, but yeah. Let's see what else. Linda reminds us that flu shots are available at all health centers in the city. There are a couple that are kind of centric. One is around the corner from the Emiliano Zapata market, or a short walk. And the other one is not far from Parque Miguel Hidalgo. So I'll keep my eyes open on those, and I'll let you know how it goes after I get a couple of pricks. And with that said, we're wrapping things up right now. This afternoon, I'll be at the Joint doing interviews in case you want to stop by and say hello. And of course, tomorrow, we will do a jump to the left and a jump to the right and try to do the time warp as we explore Rocky Horror in the afternoon. But in the morning, we'll be back with more coffee headlines and stories. So have a good Wednesday, and I'll see you tomorrow.